everyone, and I hope that you're well. So today I'm just making a late night dinner for me and Omer. So today we thought we'd have palak with rice and yogurt. Palak is spinach in English. So let me show you how today we are going to make it. It's very delicious, probably one of my favourite vegetarian meals. We have this quite a lot. So let me show you what we'll be needing today. So today I've got 1 kg of frozen spinach. You could always use fresh spinach, same quantity, it's entirely up to you. Just make sure that you wash any fresh spinach before you use it. Spices today, I've got 1 teaspoon of crushed Kashmiri red chili flakes, about 8 green chilies, 8 to 10 green chilies. 4 to 5 cloves of garlic, which I've already cut up into little pieces. 1 1/4 teaspoon of salt. This is to your taste though, so just adjust accordingly. And 1 teaspoon of red chili powder. I'm using a sort of generous amount of butter. This is about 25 grams. 1 onion, which I've already prepared. Whole spices, we have about 5 cardamom pods, about 3 cloves, a little bit of cinnamon, and 1 black cardamom here. So to begin cooking the spinach, we need to start with the onions. So I've got a pan on, a little bit of oil at the bottom, just enough to sort of cover the pan, and this is about sort of a low to medium heat. It's now got nice and hot, so I'm just going to add the onion. So I'm just waiting for the onions to soften and to turn a nice sort of goldeny colour. I've not finely chopped the onions today, they are slightly bigger, but they're just enough so that they are going to cook nicely, cook evenly, and gain a little bit of colour. But this will take a lot of sort of mixing because of the form that we want for palak or spinach. So don't worry about doing it too finely, just as long as they're sort of cut evenly and in sort of nice even pieces. So the onions have started to turn a nice golden colour, which is really great. They've also softened a little bit. So it's time to add the garlic now. It's all gone in. And I'm just going to wait for these to soften a little bit before we add the next lot of spices. So it's a quick fry, approximately 30 seconds or so. I'm now ready to add the whole spices. And just to let you know that I've also got a kettle which has just been boiled for a splash of hot water, which we'll be needing in a minute or so. So the whole spices are the cardamom pods, the cinnamon stick, the cloves, and the black cardamom as well. And it's now time to add the red chili powder and chili flakes. So I've got the red chili flakes, and there you go, and the red chili powder. I'm just going to fry these off together before adding the splash of boiling water. Okay, so that's just literally a few seconds, about 5 to 10 seconds. And then it's time to add that boiling water. And keep stirring. So this stage is nearly complete. I've been mixing it for about a minute, 2 minutes, and the oil has now separated from the water. The water's reduced, so we know that the spices have cooked through nicely. So I'm now going to add the spinach. Give that a little mix, and I'll also now add the green chilies, along with the salt. And then I will be turning this down to a low heat to let it all sort of slowly cook nicely. But I'll be adding some water to obviously help the spinach cook. So you don't want to add too much, just a little bit, as the spinach has some water content anyway, so it will release some itself, especially as I'm using frozen spinach today. So I will now pop the lid on, let that defrost and cook away on a low heat. So the spinach has now been cooking for exactly 40 minutes, so I'll come back to that in a moment. Let's now get the rice on. So I've got 1 cup of rice, which is perfect for about 2 people, and I have got my mug here and my kettle is nice and boiled. So I'm now going to add 25% more water than I have done the rice. It's on a medium heat just to begin with. So exactly 1 cup, and then 25% more. It's going in. Just get all of the rice on the side and pop the lid on. So as I was saying, the pan is on a medium heat. The moment it comes to a nice boiling temperature, I will turn it down to a low heat and let it cook on a low heat. Let's now go back to the spinach. So I'm just going to check on it after the 40 minutes of cooking. It's smelling lovely. Let's give that a little mix. It's doing well. It still needs to reduce, the water needs to reduce a little bit more. So it will need a little bit more cooking, but it's smelling lovely. And yeah, very inviting already. So let me bring you up to scratch with what's been going on in the last 10 minutes. So my rice came to a boil, so I turned it down to a low heat and cooked it for 10 minutes with the lid on. I've now turned the heat off completely, kept the lid on, and it's going to just sit in the steam for a further 10 minutes. So while that's doing, the water has also reduced quite a lot from the spinach, so it's now gone on to a high heat. And I'm just going to keep moving it and keep frying it on a nice high heat until it creates that nice form where the oil has separated and the spinach is sort of the nice texture that we want. So 10 minutes later, and the water has evaporated, and if you can see now, the oil is starting to leave, so you can kind of see it gathering a little bit in the centre there. So this is now finished. The last stage is just to add the butter, so I'm going to add that. I'm going to pop the lid on and switch off the heat and let that rest for 10 minutes. So this is 10 minutes later and the butter has nicely melted, so let's have a little look inside to see what it all looks like, the finished form. So it all looks very well rested and the butter is nicely melted, just to give it a little bit of flavour. And I think it's now ready to try. So now I'm just going to prepare a little plate so that I can taste it. So let's start with the rice. Looks nice and fluffy. Perfect. And the spinach. And I've also got some yogurt here as well. So this is how I would like to eat palak and rice, with a nice portion of yogurt, because this is giving really nice creaminess, freshness, so you want to take quite a lot with each bite. So each layer get some of that yogurt. Let's try. Oh, that's so nice. That is lovely. It's just kind of comforting because it's nice and warm, and the spinach is just giving so much flavour. But the yogurt is really important. Make sure you have yogurt with this because it just gives a nice freshness, and it's just really refreshing in your mouth. I think the yogurt is really, really important to this dish. But the rice is all very filling and very delicious, and this is one of my favourite. Especially if you're a vegetarian, this is really nice, and if you're vegan, maybe just skip the end with the butter. So make sure you do try this, even if you're a meat lover as well. This is Omer's favourite, one of his favourites, and it's definitely one of my favourites as well. So I am now going to tuck into this. I really hope that you've enjoyed this video. Do check out our social media. Our website is www.spicykissa.co.uk, and you can also follow us on Instagram and Facebook. And I guess I'll see you again next time with another video. So take care and goodbye for now.